Good morning, welcome to episode 6 of the Beach Business Breakfast Show. Today we've got Wayne with us from Insurance for Living.
Morning.
Just a quick reminder, Beach Business Breakfast, third Thursday of every month at Merriweather Beach, 7:30 to 8:30, $10 with a bit of a donation to the Surf Club, and you can meet some great new business contacts in a relaxed, informal environment. So Wayne, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Dave.
You look
Thank
very,
you.
very tropical.
Tropical, yeah. I'm ready for anything.
Sensational, very, very good. So Wayne, tell us a bit about what you did before you went into business for yourself. What's your sort of background?
Well, Dave, that's a lifetime ago when I went into business for myself, because I've been in this business now for 28 years.
Okay, yep.
So originally I was a bank teller with the Commonwealth Bank.
Okay.
And then I went into real estate with Colin Chapman Real Estate for about 5 years.
Okay.
And then I decided to go into financial planning, risk insurance.
Okay, sensational. So with Colin Chapman, what did you do there? Were you doing like sales? Or?
Yeah, licensed real estate agent. I'm still a licensed real estate agent, but
okay.
I don't practice anymore.
Yeah, okay, excellent. So tell us a bit about why you decided to go from real estate into planning and insurance.
Well, if anyone can remember 28 years ago, real estate wasn't booming like it is now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit of timing there. And I had a couple of mates that were in financial planning, and they just seemed to be getting ahead better than the real estate agents back then. So
that was the 1980s recession, wasn't it? I think I probably wasn't
80s.
conscious of the news of the time.
About 85.
Yeah.
You mightn't have been born.
Well, I was born, but I wouldn't have been paying attention to the national news, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I wasn't employed or worried about it.
In the early 80s, like financial planning wasn't that well known, and then I remember Colonial sort of had a big ad campaign about getting financial plans and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And that sort of went, now it's sort of a big thing. So,
Yeah, back in 85, a big sale in Newcastle was about 200,000 a house.
Yeah, so now you're up near the millions.
Yeah, now you're in the one in Dudley, 8 million. So
Yeah, it's a lot of money for us.
Was there something of that era, digressing a little bit, but that people were becoming more aware of their financial future, or was it just, okay, people are working and getting jobs and this is a natural progression?
well, actually, in 88 there was a big, there was a crash after 88. Before then, there was returns. People were getting 20% returns on their money. So it was a better return to be in shares and investments than houses. So,
Yeah.
and then there was the crash. About a year after I got in it, we had a crash. So timing hasn't been
we've
that
had
good.
a couple since then, like the dot-com crash and then the GFC and those sorts of things. So, so with Insurance for Living, what sort of things do you do for people? Like what do you do? What sort of services you provide?
So my real niche really is where I really like the best is just risk insurance.
Yep.
And just doing basic stuff. It's nothing too complicated. It's just life insurance, income protection,
Yep.
trauma insurance, and total and permanent disability.
Okay.
Just basic stuff that any young family with kids, a mortgage, got an asset, their income, just need to insure.
Yeah, just to make sure that they can keep their
Pay their bills.
and maintain their standard of living.
Yeah.
So cool. So with do many people, is it a hard sell? Like, is it, or like, do you?
Do people accept that that's a good idea? I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose that's a thing.
They
Yeah.
still think, this is a bill I don't need to pay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit discretionary rather than
Yeah.
you've got to eat and you've got to pay the power bill.
It is a bit of a hard sell. To me, it's pretty black and white, but so I do get a bit frustrated with it a bit. But 90% of people with a car have their car insured.
Yeah.
80% of people with a house have their house insured, but only 30% of people have income protection.
Yeah.
And I just say to people, "What's your biggest asset?" And they say, "Oh, their house,"
Yeah.
or a young person, a car. But say their car's worth 20 grand, the house is worth $500,000. But if they're earning $50,000 a year and they're going to work for the next 30 years, their income is worth $2 million.
Yeah, so it's a big asset.
And I don't like to say I'm selling insurance, I like just trying to educate people to think, well, your biggest asset is your income, because with your income, you pay your house, your car, your kids, your electricity, your gas, and go on holidays
Yeah.
and provide for retirement. And if you haven't got your income coming in, how do you do all that?
Yeah. So we're moving, say, from real estate into financial planning. How did you get your first couple of clients?
Well, like any multi-level marketing person or anyone going into business, it's your family, your friends,
Yep.
referrals.
Yep.
Back in those days, that's 28 years ago, there was a thing called cold calling.
Yeah,
I don't know whether they
yeah.
do it anymore, but you used to just knock on doors. You just walk up the street, knock on doors and say hello.
Yeah.
Now you can't knock on doors.
Yep.
There's a cold calling register. People don't like getting cold calls, so you
Yeah,
can't
do not
ring
call
people.
register, yeah.
But back in those days, it was
That's assuming anyone's home.
Yes. Yeah.
flat chat. Anyone breathing, I could grab.
Yeah.
And so how marketing has changed quite a lot in the last, so let's say 30 years. Like we've become digital, I guess, over that period. But have people's comprehension or enthusiasm for life insurance or sort of risk management, has that changed much over that time, do you think? Or basically, there was a percentage of the population 30 years ago that were worried they were going to get cancer and die, and there's still that same percentage of people, and everybody else doesn't care.
Well, there's certainly a lot of facts and figures that show that there's a lot more advertising in the paper, on the news about the rate of cancer, heart attack and stroke, but it doesn't seem to have jogged too many
People
people's
aren't getting more like
concerned.
or thinking about it.
No, advertising for me hasn't really worked. Insofar as people don't wake up and think, I need to get insurance.
Yeah.
You
Until
know,
they've had something go wrong and then it's too late.
Or they know someone that's happened to them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Twigs. I think that's where, like, you see in that industry a lot of case study advertising. You know, they say, you know, here's the husband and wife, and something's happened to the husband, and because they had insurance, they were able to do blah blah blah.
yeah,
So,
the benefits of it.
It's easy to think that those things happen to other people, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't have car accidents, or I don't have like falling off a cliff accidents or anything like but other people have those problems. They should have insurance, but I guess that mentality is very easy to adopt. And until something does go wrong, then
My wife has sore ribs because when I'm sitting watching the TV and on comes a current affair, and every week there's a
bit of a horror story.
a horror story of
Yeah.
someone who's got cancer, had a heart attack, needs their house renovated, looks after the kids, no family, and I say, I know what they're going to say next. I know what they're going to say
don't have
next.
insurance.
Hit her.
start a donation.
And we didn't think it would ever happen to us.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is the typical thing.
Yeah, all people just say, it always seems on the news when people's houses burn down, they're always uninsured. So it's
The people that are insured, they don't make good news.
Yeah,
do they?
exactly.
So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
a person with life insurance that has had to get their leg amputated, or I don't know, whatever other horrible thing happened to them. The reporters don't turn up and go, so what happened?
Yeah.
Oh well, this bad thing, and I've been paid to get it sorted out.
Yeah.
We're fine,
That's not
but we're
interesting.
fine, we're insured.
There's no,
and everyone lives happily ever after,
fundraising drive for
Yeah.
that person, is there?
Yeah. So with why do you think clients come back to you? Like, there's plenty of other people doing financial planning and risk insurance. Why do you find that customers refer you, or your referral partners say to their friends, look, Wayne's the person to talk to, or one of your staff?
Well, I'd like to think the first thing is that I'm pretty genuine about what I'm doing. I can really see the need for people to have it. Trustworthy, they would say those things, honest, trustworthy, genuine. To get insurance, sometimes there is a lot of things to go through, because that's the main thing with insurance. You've got to get it in place properly to begin with. Because the bad stories you hear on the news is because they haven't got the insurance in place in the first place. They've told the whole truth about the medical.
Forgot to
mention that
they
had
a history of a heart attack or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they're the horror stories you hear, people don't get paid. So I like to think if people referred to me, I don't try and oversell people.
Yep.
It's more a casual, most of my clients become friends.
Yep.
And I just try and make it easy because a lot of tradespeople that I deal with are busy, they don't like paperwork, they haven't got time, they don't want to fill out forms, they don't want to go to the doctor and all that.
Yeah.
So I want to take all that away from them and just say, look, this is what you need, this is your problem, this is how we're going to do it, and I get it done.
Yeah, you take the pain away, that's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
just
simplify the process and then do as much as you can to get in place and make sure it's up to date and that sort of thing. Regular reviews and that sort of thing. I imagine that's
such a personal kind of thing to deal with. Like in a sense, they're bearing their vulnerability to you. So I guess it really does.
They've got to be confidential. Yeah, you've got to. They've got to have
surprising that people don't just pick up like a newspaper and go, oh, yeah, I should talk to Wayne about getting my life insured or something.
It's a bit different to some of those things you see on telly where it's like, ring up and in 2 minutes we can approve you over the phone, all that sort of stuff. Whereas with you guys, it's more, you do your fact find, you got to follow the know your client rule.
Yeah.
You've got to know a lot about the client to be able to, give them the policy that's right for them, that's going to look after them and their family and that sort of thing. So, what's a typical day for you? Like dressing up in a lei with your life ring?
Life boy.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether you'll do that every day, but I know it's on your website, which is...
People are probably familiar with that face.
Yeah.
Logo kind of...
We can cut that bit, can't we? Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
But
So what's the sort of typical day for you, Wayne? Like
well,
dressing
typically,
up in a Hawaiian shirt and getting interviewed overlooking beautiful Meriwether Beach?
yeah,
Every
I
day,
could
but
start this every day.
Yeah.
Typical day is I take my daughter to school, and I've got an 8-year-old daughter, so I'll take her to St Joseph's at Meriwether every day, and I'll get into the office about 9 o'clock.
Yep.
And then it's just a matter of phone calls, appointments, bit of education along the way. We've got to do our continual training. So in the olden days, in the good old days, it was you just get out there and talk to people, and you could sort of sign them up on the spot and get on to the next one.
Yep.
There's so much compliance and paperwork now in any business, I know, but in insurance in particular. So you've got to keep accredited, you've got to keep training, and all that just takes time out of your day.
Yeah, more providers. I know with mortgages, it's like we got 3 credit updates yesterday from different banks, changing the way they're going to assess people and that sort of stuff. So you've got to be across that. It's quite, it takes a bit of time, but yeah.
So that's why I sort of try and just focus on risk insurance, because that's more of my passion. I don't do general insurance, and I can do financial planning, but I don't get into that as much.
Yeah, cool. Excellent.
Just keeping that sort of niche.
Oh, that's good. Well, thanks for coming in, Wayne.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. We only go for about 10
Oh, I've got so much. Don't cut me off.
What questions have we not asked?
We can go for another couple of minutes. We try to keep them 10 to 12 minutes, so it's not too long.
If there was a question that we could have asked, what would you like us to ask?
Well, when you were talking about giving advice, a lot of you hear a lot of bad stories, and 80% of those relate to people who've got their insurance online. You know, when you mentioned about you see the ad and there's no paperwork, ring us up, 10 minutes later you've got an insurance policy, which you could do, but the worth of that policy is at claim time. And if you've gone through that 5-minute telephone conversation and forgot to tell them something about you had blood pressure or had cholesterol, and when family history, and they do a check when you go on claim, because they check your Medicare records and find out you've been to the doctor, you didn't tell them this and
that. They cross you off the list and say,
you don't get paid.
Yeah, thanks for your $4 a week for 20 years, but we can't help you.
Yeah. And another good example was the floods in Brisbane a couple of years back. A lot of people didn't get paid because they were flooded out. But the insurance policy they took out didn't cover for floods. But they thought it did. And they only found that out when they went to claim. And because they didn't have a relationship with it, they're only doing it over the internet or over the phone.
Wow, and the person who's on the phone, or even
doesn't know
even just say like a big faceless insurance company, they're not really interested in making sure you know all the loopholes and how they're not going to pay you, are they? Whereas as you're an intermediary, so you are interested in that
And you're
Yeah.
acting,
and
you're
making
acting
sure
for
they
the-
don't get screwed.
You're acting for the client.
I'm acting for the client,
yeah.
yeah. In 28 years, I've had one claim that wasn't paid.
Yeah.
And that was because he didn't tell us about his back injury.
Yeah.
But other than that, every claim I've had has been paid.
So when people do have, you know, unfortunate accident or that sort of stuff, they ring you. Do you manage the claim
I
process?
manage the claim, I go
Yeah.
to the hospital or
Yep.
I go to the doctors to get the reports.
Yep.
Because a lot of people, if you've got a husband dying in front of you, it's a very stressful
Yeah,
time.
absolutely,
You're lucky to write your own name.
Yeah, yeah.
So you've got to do all that. That's part of the service. Whereas if you do it online, you've got no one. You're out there on your own.
own, yeah.
So that's the value of having a broker on your side.
Yeah. We say the same thing for finance. A bit of a segue there into what I do, which is great. Finance broking, same sort of thing. You know, get someone who can sort of chart you through the maze and sort of say, yeah, that is the right loan for you, or that is the best loan for you. Yeah, so similar to with
Yeah.
insurance and websites and all the other stuff that members of the Beach Business
Got
Breakfast
any words of wisdom to pass on to future insurance brokers and real estate agents? I don't have to obviously give away the secret sauce that's
You know,
getting
any
you
sort of
business,
great
but
business advice you were given?
you must
that
have
you
figured
sort
out
of-
something over the
Well, I
the
think
years.
a couple of good things is find out your niche. You know what you're really passionate about. Like for me, it's probably self-employed type trades type people that need a bit of help doing all their paperwork. Find your niche, and just find what you really enjoy going to work doing. Really, I suppose.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like going to work, so if you can find your passion and turn it into your job,
Yeah.
that's really, really good.
Find how the way you enjoy helping people. Make sure you get something out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and be genuine and just be yourself. Don't be anyone else. You like a lot of people wouldn't be this silly like I am. So if you don't like a bit of silliness, you probably wouldn't be my customer. You'd probably be the
Someone
straight
else's. Yeah.
Joe customer, probably.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, thanks for that, Wayne. So yeah, just a reminder, Beach Business Breakfast, third Thursday of every month, 7:30 till 8:30, $10. Go to the website, beachbusinessbreakfast.com.au. You can see all the other podcasts that we've done. We're slowly getting through all the members. We've got about 240 members of the network, so it'll probably take us a couple of years to do all them.
I think
But
we've got 200.
we've got
Some of
240.
those could be.
yeah, there could be
spam
random
members,
We don't know, but we have about 40 people to each meeting.
Yeah,
so
it's a good meeting too. Every
Yeah.
third Thursday
Yeah.
morning, and a beautiful spot here. So you
Yeah.
couldn't get any better spot anywhere in the world than
That's
Merriweather Beach.
fantastic
Yeah.
place. So thanks for joining us, and thanks, Wayne. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
Dave. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks for
Thank
Ta.
you.